Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing a vintage unboxing. Tremendous. So, I had a birthday last week, and I decided to get myself a couple of fragrances. And while I was looking around, a couple of friends of mine, Jonathan, Duncan, Ramsey, were all talking about... They were all talking about a fragrance, one fragrance, that they had all recently smelled. I think Duncan had already had a bottle of it, and he'd sent samples to Ramsey and Jonathan. And the fragrance they were talking about was Lancetti Womo, or Lancetti Womo. And I thought, that sounds interesting. It sounds right up my street. It came highly recommended. So I thought to myself, I'll buy that if I can find it. And I looked on an Italian seller who I have used many times, called Profumery di Lauro on eBay. I don't think he ships to the States, sorry. And I looked online and saw that he had 5 30ml bottles. And I thought, well, screw it. It's my birthday. They're very well priced. It's almost impossible to find. So I bought all 5. And I will only show you the one because I'm just going to unbox it. And so here it is. Lancetti Womo, or Lancetti Womo. So, interesting. While I was there, I noticed a bottle of something that I have also been interested in for a while. And it is from the house of Etro. You will have seen I've done videos on perfumes by Etro before. I have never smelled a bad one. And so I decided to also throw in a bottle of Mahogany by Etro. So my cup runneth over. I've been chasing the Mahogany for a long time. Anyway, we will now unbox and do first impressions. Firstly, we will do Lancetti Womo, or Lancetti Womo. Comes like this. Just a little 30ml bottle. And it doesn't look very full, does it? I don't know if that's evaporated. I'll get another one and see and compare it. Otherwise, I will be having words with Mr. Dilaro. Nope, they're all like that. Or that one is, anyway. So, weird. Not full to the top, but then they didn't do that back in the day. I think this is from the deepest 80s. It's a very interesting perfume. The notes, as the note listings are wont to be on old perfumes, are legion. Excuse me. So the top notes are absinthe, mint, lavender, galbanum. I'm not sure that's not how you spell it, is it? Nutmeg, artemisia, clary sage, thyme, and lemon. Middle notes are jasmine, oak moss. And the base notes are patchouli, leather, fucking pet notes. What pets? But pet notes? Weird. Labdanum, sandalwood, ambergris, and cedar. This is according to Fragrantica, by the way. So, we will spray and see what happens. I have an awful feeling this is going to be, it's going to be a aerosol, but there we are. Nope, no, it's not, thank God. The sprayer is not bad. Let's have a smell, shall we? See what happens. Oh, wow. Wow, that's 80s. It may even be 70s in nature. It's got that kind of, like, big, you know, those carpets that are made of, like, bear skins, where it's like the bear's head's there, and it's like, oh. I'm getting the lavender, getting the nutmeg straight away. You get this kind of menthol thing from the mint and the absinthe. You know, that's definitely there. Outrageous. Oak moss, clary sage. I'm getting the dirt. I'm getting that kind of slightly filthy. I get the pet idea. It's got like warm, musky, fuzzy kind of thing going on, you know? A little bit fuzzy, a little bit furry. Not much patchouli though. It might be in the dry down because they are base notes, but it definitely smells 80s. It smells like hairy chest, you know? It smells like the underside of a cat a little bit. It's warm, but it's got this freshness to it as well. It's very interesting. I'm getting the leather, but it's not like any particular kind of leather. It's like an impression of leather. It's like a leatheriness rather than any particular kind of leather. It's not like a Russian leather or a Spanish leather, you know. It's nice, but it's very animalic in like not in a dirty sort of way. Like imagine a clean animal. That's why I was like using the example of a cat. It doesn't smell dirty. It just sort of like, because cats are very clean animals. But anyway, next we shall unbox a mahogany. And there she blow. I think the gold cap versions with the round label on are the 2000s, 2010 sort of age of these. I've also got Palais Jamais as well, which you can not see. There's Palais Jamais. This is fantastic as well, by the way. What a scent that is. I'd love to smell the original. But, excuse me, sorry. This is fantastic. It was launched actually in 2004. For some reason I thought this was older, but not to worry. The notes in this are very interesting too. There is marjoram and bergamot at the top, cloves, cumin, pepper and citrus in the mid, so that's going to be a spicy, sharp little number in the mid. And then the base, there is mahogany wood, sandalwood, musk, vetiver, amber and vanilla. So, I've got to confess, I have had a little smell of this. I couldn't wait. Anyway, this is Mahogany by Etro. And since it's a later release, I'm expecting it to be a little less shocking than the Lancetti. Well, not that Lancetti's shocking, it's just very 80s. Wow. I was clearly wrong. That green note at the top must be the majorum. I must admit, I'm not hugely knowledgeable on the old majorum. Like a green, spicy, herbal sort of thing, you know. It's a fantastic mix. It doesn't say who the perfumer is. It doesn't say who the perfumer is for the Lancetti either. I'd love to know. Wow, this is different. This is fantastic. Etro are a massively underexposed designer house, and they are a designer house from Italy, but they just don't get the love they deserve. This is fabulous. Green, peppery, clovey. You wouldn't like this if you don't like pepper, cloves sort of thing, you know? It's got this greenness to it. Got to be the majorum. If that's what majorum smells like. It's making my tongue go a little bit numb. Ugh. This is fantastic. It's very different. Dark wood as well. I'm getting a lot of wood sort of vibe from it, but dark wood, you know? An unfriendly wood. Not an easy to take wood. It's a dark perfume. It's not quite as dark as like Ebony by Balmain or like anything of that kind of nature, you know. Sergio Saldano's for men. I think that's what it's called. Comes in a black plastic bottle. That is a black perfume. But this is awesome. Very different, very different. If you want something that is not like other things you will smell on the shelves, Etro is the way to go. They've only very recently just released their first ever eau de parfum, which was a patchouli. And I wouldn't mind smelling their old version of patchouli rather than the patchouli that they sell now. It's quite nice. I mean, the eau de parfum was nice. But I would like to smell, because I do know that was one of their original vintages, and that was something I really want to smell. Okay, so back to the Lancetti. The Lancetti's definitely got that 80s chest hair, musky, leathery, labdanum kind of vibe going on. But I like it. Don't get us wrong, I like it. When I say labdanum, people think that I automatically hate it. I mean, Ambros Sultan's a big labdanum perfume. It's just when labdanum is the sole focus of the perfume that I don't like it. You know, labdanum's it's almost ubiquitous, so it's very hard to like perfume without liking labdanum, but it's how labdanum is surrounded, you know. If it's just a naked labdanum fragrance, there's a very good chance I'm not going to like it. Like Le Lion, you know, or Shalimar. Which is strange because you'd think I'd like it. This is very... It's got this sprightliness, and it must be the ambergris. It's got this kind of fizz, this pop. Like, it's got a freshness. It's like fresh filth. Fresh dirt, you know? It's very nice. It's very different. I'm glad I've got it, very much so, because it's in that 80s vintage sort of what the Americans call wheelhouse, you know? It's in my wheelhouse. It's my sort of thing. I really like this. I like both of them. I've done very well here. The very two completely different scents. One of them's musky, one of them's woody. Mahogany's much more sort of like got this green, dry herb sort of thing at the top. whereas Lancetti's got this kind of come hither, warm, been in bed for a couple of days kind of thing going on, you know. Very different fragrances, very interesting, very good. I'm very happy about this. I'm sure you can hear that I'm smiling. Isn't it funny how you can hear people smiling? Anyway, this has been my vintage unboxing and first impression of Lancetti Womo and Mahogany by Etro. Italian designer houses. Do not sleep on Italian designer houses. They know what they're doing. They've got that style. And I like it. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I will hopefully see you again soon.